Nick speaking, and welcome to this video, Eldar Learning Curve. And in this video, the last fast attack choice, and we're looking at the Vypers. Has to be said, pretty awesome looking model actually. I mean, I personally really like it. From a hobby point of view, just show you mine. So I have the bases magnetised. I do have a video with my Vypers, how to magnetise, so yeah, go and check that out if you're interested. I have the front gun with shuriken cannon upgrade, which comes off because they don't actually supply a front gun, and I can actually put this one on. Oh, if I can get in. There you go. So I can make it into a normal Vyper as well. Magnetise the top gun, and I've got all the options. So that's a star cannon there. So that's all magnetised, and the guy's magnetised comes off as well, just in case it's got weapon destroyed or just for storage even. So yeah, that's my models. In terms of getting these on the table, to be fair, it's a tough one, especially for 6th edition. I mean, 5th edition it was hard enough, and 6th edition with hull points, open topped, armour 10, very easy to destroy. But you know, if you're a Samharm player, or if you just like the models, or you know there's certain fluff that you like, you might want to use them. So we need to have a look at how to use these guys. Personally, I like using them just because they look really cool. So that's a reason to use them anyway. So how are we going to use them? One of the key things is they have a jinx save. So it's as long as you move them, you get your 5+ save. And new shooting rules. You can move 12 inches and you can shoot both guns. So there is a very good argument for taking the big gun on the front, but potentially there's also a very good argument for not taking the big gun on the front, because it keeps the points cost down, and after all, these are going to be shot down quite easily. So you've got to basically pay your money and take your choice on that one. I have to be totally honest with you, and it is a learning curve, and my learning curve has sort of stopped really with these because I haven't really used them much in 6th edition. So I can't tell you yes or no really. I mean, I will personally keep them on as I start to use them. I may find that I'll end up not using them, so we'll have to see. Only time will tell. For the gun on the top though, I think almost definitely scatter lasers is the way to go. They only hit on 4s because of their ballistic skill. If you can guide these, much better. And of course, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, if I'm going to have these sitting in my army and I'm going to be guiding them, why am I not taking War Walkers? Because let's face it, they're much better. Well, what the War Walker doesn't give you, which the Vyper gives you, is the speed. So if the Vyper will basically keep up with the rest of your army. I mean, especially if you're using a mech army, a jet bike army, you know, they have the movement to keep up with the rest of your army. Keep near that Farseer that's in your Seer Council that can guide the guns. When you have your War Walkers, you know, they're going to be at the back more, probably hunkered in terrain, that type of thing. So that's one advantage of the Vyper. To protect the Vyper, you basically need to almost bubble wrap it. You need those in the middle of your war host with all the other stuff around them. So you get your cover saves, you get your jinx saves, and they can't be assaulted, because if they're assaulted, you've had it. So you need to stop the assault happening and get your saves basically as much as you can. Of course, you can move flat out, but then you can't shoot. So okay, you got your 4+ save. It is an option. You need to get out of trouble, you can at least move flat out and get out of the way, of course sacrificing your shooting. You could potentially reserve them as well, maybe reserve them, and at least when you come on, you know you're guaranteed to get your shots off, but by that time maybe your war host would be out of range. So personally, what I would do is I'd keep them in the middle of your war host, keep them within range of your Farseer for as long as possible to guide them. Now, how many you use is another thing that we need to consider. Now, in 5th edition, I used 2 units of 2. Basically, I only have 4 models anyway. Seemed to work quite well, so I would stick with that in my 6th edition list. I wouldn't bother just having one. I mean, one of these guys really isn't just isn't going to do anything at all. I think nowadays maybe 3 could be a good option. I'm going to experiment with 1 unit of 3 instead of 2 units of 2, just to see what happens. Especially if you're going to use lose the gun on the front, just have 3 scatter lasers on the top maybe. So, well, as you can see, my learning curve is still learning, but I'm more than happy to share my experiences so far, and that is my experiences. So, Eldar Vyper, great model, really tough in 6th edition to effectively use them, but I still think that we should be using them. Why not? Okay, so next we're going to move on to heavy support and have a look at the units in there.